Hey guys, today I want to talk to you a minute about this thing, the foam roller. In large part, foam rollers cause the problems that people think that they're actually solving. By digging into that tissue, we're assaulting the tissues and the structures around it, okay, which can create inflammation, yada yada yada. But we're traumatizing that tissue. I mean, we're creating more problems there. We're creating more scar tissue. We're creating more of a body's protective response, and with regard to how it needs to bolster up this area because we just keep beating the hell out of it with these things. It doesn't have to be painful to be productive. You'll know when it's productive when it's achieving the result that you're looking for. What you're looking for is a change in the structures and a change in the architecture that allows that muscle to stay more in an optimal state, which doesn't create problems for us in the future and while we're doing the things that we want to do without pain. So when we get in there and we beat the shit out of this thing, it ends up causing more of an issue that we feel like is mitigated by more massage or more trauma or more of this or more of that. So we really need to be careful what it is that we're doing to our bodies. Even though it feels good, doesn't mean it's a good thing. I mean, there's plenty of examples of why that's the case. This is certainly one of them. You can damage your body by doing things that feel good to it. We need to be really careful with what we're doing, especially to the tissues and the structures and the muscles and the joints and ligaments and the tendons and the therapies that we impose and impart on them because we find them online and whatever we hear, we look for the things that make sense to us in our current understanding of things. Whether they work or they don't doesn't quite often matter. What matters to us at any point in time is it rational based on your theories and your logic? It's probably better to explore the truth rather than look for the convenience. So careful with this thing. Foam roller in particular works with the Golgi tendon organ and which basically inhibits the activation of that muscle. So if you stimulate and overstimulate that organ in the right way, then it causes the muscle to relax, to let go. So given that that's the case, we're supposed to use this thing to inhibit particular muscles to affect certain movements. We use it as an off switch. We want to use it to turn things off. What's not necessarily the right way to use this is to arbitrarily begin to turn things off. So if you've got a routine that you have and you go to the gym and you do a warm-up set of air squats and you assess how your body feels while you're doing it, if you're overactive here or there, you would use the foam roller to turn off that particular muscle or turn off or inhibit activation of that particular muscle around a particular joint. So the preferred way, the ideal way to use a foam roller when you go to the gym or you begin your workout and it's just part of your normal routine is before you even touch the thing, do the movement that it is that you plan on doing, whether it's squats that day, deadlifts, lunges if you're jogging, whatever the case is. Do a warm-up set of that. Experience what that's going to feel like until you're warmed up, while you're warmed up. And if you notice that you've got asymmetries or that, for example, your right knee turns out a little bit while you're doing your squats, your femur is rotating a little bit and your hip abducts, you might determine that the glute on that side needs to be shut down a little bit or inhibited or turned off, in which case you would take the foam roller and you would address that. You wouldn't arbitrarily address that because anybody who knows about movement patterns and movement pattern overload knows that on any particular day, our movement habits aren't necessarily similar. So you use the foam roller to address particular instances of overactivity or overactivation of a muscle, not arbitrarily because it's part of your warm-up routine. And the way that you're supposed to do that, you're supposed to lean on the foam roller, wherever muscle it is that you're rolling out, and sit on it and wait until that muscle releases. Wait until you feel that muscle let go and the activation change. When that muscle lets go and you feel that release, you slowly move to the next trigger point or adhesion that you feel, knot, whatever you want to call it. And you sit on it and you let it let go. And if you feel it would be appropriate to lean on it a little bit more, see if you can get it to let go a little bit more, you'll feel that muscle release. That's the release that we're talking about, myofascial release. That's what that's all about. You're activating the Golgi tendon organ. You're causing it to inhibit that muscle's activation, And when that happens, you feel the muscle let go. Now, when you go and you get back into your squat or your warm up, whatever the movement is that you were about to do, you'll notice a change in the activation patterns of the muscles for a period of time or for a number of reps. And that's a direct result of properly using or effectively using the foam roller. If you get on it and you're rocking back and forth as fast as you can and you feel like that's doing something other than just feeling good and exciting the muscle, that's really all that it's doing. You can't get a muscle to relax or effectively inhibit if you just keep poking at it or it feels like it's being traumatized. That muscle can't release, it can't let go. So you're causing an overactivation of that muscle, or at least an environment where that's preferred. And you go into your warm-up set or you go into your exercises and you're going to see that. You're going to notice that those particular muscles were probably a little bit quicker to turn on and turned on a little bit harder had they not otherwise been assailed and assaulted before you did that set. So go about it slow. You want to feel that muscle let go. You want to focus on the sensation, that intensity that you feel from that thing leaning on a particular spot, whether it's your lats or your glutes or what have you. You want to feel that discomfort because that's necessarily what it might take in order for you to reach the point where that mechanism kicks in and that muscle just lets go. You'll feel it. Try it. It's an amazing tool if you use it right. I think a lot of people misuse or at least misinterpret the applicability of the foam roller and myofascial release and other inhibitory techniques. But nonetheless, if you've got good direction and you've got good information, then hopefully it has a positive impact for you. So give that a shot. Stop beating yourself up with the thing. It's meant to be a very specific tool for a very specific purpose, though we use it for many different things, and there's a lot of misinformation going out there that's easily misleading to people, especially with all the buzzwords and the hacks and everything else that's being thrown around. So make sure you get your information from a reputable source, especially when you're dealing with tissues and organs of the body, and that includes your own exercise and your own fitness and your own recreation and activity, and see how it goes. I'm interested to know, so good luck, and I'll talk to you soon.